Hello everyone. This is another topic from business organization and management. We have discussed a few topics. So today we are going to discuss a very simple topic, important topic, that is different forms of business organization. So we'll discuss what are the different business organizations are we have, and now we'll see one of different the business organization, that is sole proprietorship. Right. So what is sole proprietorship? See, as the name indicates that sole means a single. Okay. Proprietorship means owner. So sole proprietorship business is like a form of business organization where one individual is own the business. He controls and manages the entire business. The person who is the owner of that business organization, he takes all the risks of the business organization, and he enjoys profits of the business. Here we can say it's like a one-man show where one person is fully uh, like fully he himself uh, engaged in the business, and everything whatever is going in the business organization, everything will be taken care by one single individual. Okay. So here we can say we can take so many examples of so sole proprietorship, like nearby our house also we can see a retail shop where one a single individual runs the business, and we can see like a grocery store, vegetable store, a photographer. These are the different examples for single ownership business, that is sole proprietorship. Okay. Here in this form of business organization, we can see a one man control in the business organization. See, not only a small stores, whatever we have discussed now, not only that, the uh, like a big companies, Coca-Cola and now Flipkart, they also started like a sole proprietorship business. Now they have become into big. They have now they have uh, they become limited companies, but most of the organizations or business forms starts as a sole proprietorship form of business organization. Okay. So here in the sole proprietorship, the main thing is that the sole trader, that means single trader, receives all profits and suffers all losses. He enjoys all the profits, he suffers all the losses of the business organization. Okay, let's see what are the uh, characteristics of sole proprietorship. These are the characteristics of sole proprietorship, that is, it's a one-man initiative and it is managed and controlled by only one individual. In the business, secrets will be held only in the business secrecy, capital contribution, motivation, simplicity, registration. See, the first thing is that sole proprietorship is a one-man initiative. Here, the trader, that means the owner, he controls entire business. He innovates in his idea. What to do in the business is his idea. So it's a one-man initiative. And the second characteristic is management and control. Here, the only one person who is the trader of the business, that means sole owner, he manages everything. He manages everything in the organization and he controls the business. we cannot see a lot of people involved in the business activity. Only one person is involved in the business activity, and everything will be taken care by this one individual. And next characteristic is secrecy. See, business means business secrets should be, trade secrets should be kept in the business itself. Okay, so here no other people are involved. So here the one person who is the owner knows all the business secrets. These secrets will not be shared to other parties. This is another characteristic. And the next thing is that capital contribution. So the owner can contribute a lot of finance into the business. He can bring uh, a lot of money into the business organization. He can increase his business by adding additional capital to the business. See, he can choose any number of any. We have different forms for raising funds. He can choose any form and he can bring capital into the business. For the all debts, uh, whatever the funds he raised, for all that debts, he is answerable for repayment of that debts. And the next thing is that motivation. See here, the owner, the trader is motivated to carry this kind of business. So here, his own interest to start the business. There is no teamwork, there is no other people engaged in the business activity. So he himself motivate himself to start the business organization. And the next one is that simplicity. Yes, this is very simplest and the basic form of business organization. It's a very simple to start with the minimum capital. So anybody who is who is interested to start a business, they can take up the sole proprietorship business without having any like a risk or like a there are number of rules to start a business. Like, so these rules and regulations are not applicable much to this form of business organization. And the next one is that registration. As we have discussed earlier, it is very simple form of business organization. There are very simple rules to start a business organization. He can get permissions easily, quickly to start a business, and there are no rigid rules to start up a sole proprietorship form of business organization. So easily you can start a business organization. And here, yeah, these are the characteristics of sole proprietorship. And next we'll see the advantages and disadvantages of sole proprietorship. See, we can see here advantages: easy formation, flexibility, and easy to raise finance, lower cost management, self-employment, business secrets. See, the other side disadvantages: limited life, lack of specialization, unlimited liability, limited managerial ability, limited capital, and hasty decisions. See here, for a coin, there are two sides. Correct? So it's the same way for any kind of business organization, there are some advantages as well as the disadvantages. So first we'll look into the advantages. That is, the first point is easy formation. Yeah, it is very simple to start up a business. Why? Because here business and the owner are treated as a one entity. One entity. There is no difference like in other forms of business organization. The owner and the business are treated separately. But whereas sole proprietorship, here in this organization, owner and the management are same. So it's very easy to start a business. There are like he does not require too many formalities to complete to start a business organization. And the second thing is flexibility. Yeah. In the business, he can take any kind of decision and he can run as per his interest, and he can suppose if he doesn't want to continue the business, if you want to wind up the business, immediately he can close the business. So it's a very flexible, like a very there are it's like a flexibility. We can see a flexibility in the business organization. It's easy to change, easy to make any change. Why? Because here the owner and the business is same. So as per his convenience, he can make anything, he can make any kind of change. So it's a another advantage is flexibility. We can see a lot of flexibility in the business activity. And the next one is easy to raise finance. See, it's a sole proprietorship form of business organization. The owner and the business is same. So he easily, the owner can raise finance for his simple form of business organization. He can get any kind of finance, any form of business or any form of finance from anywhere. He can approach bank, he can get from short-term funds. So it's very easy to get finance for the sole proprietorship form of business organization. The next advantage is lower cost management. Here, the trader does not necessarily engage most of the more labor in the business organization. With a few labor or with a few people, or else sometimes he work alone to gain profits. So the labor cost is most of the in most of the business sole proprietorship organization, labor cost is minimum. It's like a minimum cost. So, and not only that, here the owner itself works in the organization alone. So, and he takes care of every section in the business activity. So all the works, it is like a centralized work uh, we can see in the business organization. So there is a less cost management. He don't spend lot of money in uh, in management activities. Next point is self-employment. Yes, it's self-employment. The owner creates employment for himself, and sometimes he gives employment for others also. So for the first, for himself, it's a self-employment. So it creates employment for him as well as the others in the business. And next advantage is business secrets. Here we already discussed when we were discussing about characteristic features of sole proprietorship. So the business secrets, trade secrets are not shared with any other person. Any other person means outsiders, with outsiders. So the business secrets are are in the business only. They will not carry outside. So it's the biggest advantage in the sole proprietorship form of business organization. And the next thing is that disadvantages. Limited life. Yes, we already discussed that there is a lot of flexibility in the business activity. So for as per his interest, he can continue the business. He can increase his business activity, or if he doesn't want to continue, immediately he can close. So we can see a limited life in the business organization. Why? Because after the death of the owner, so the continuation of the business firm is like a question mark. So if the owner dies, if the proprietor dies, so immediately the business activity will be stopped. So the limited life, so then next there is a question, who takes the business? So that question arises. So we can see the limited life, sole proprietorship form of business organization. And the next thing is lack of specialization. Here, the owner, the trader, sole trader may not be have like a he may not have overall knowledge about the business. So here he might be specialized in one aspect of the business, but not in all aspects. So this lack of specialization leads to the less output for the organization. So we cannot see 360 degrees activity of the uh, owner. That means he may not have a speciality in all the sections of the business organization. Next thing is unlimited liability. Here owner enjoys unlimited liability. Uh, he can bring the capital into the business as per his wish. So how much he want to invest in the business, he can bring in the form of debts. That is depends upon the owner. So there is no limit for the liability. This is an biggest disadvantage of sole proprietorship form. Why? Because if he suffers losses, the organization, the firm also suffers from losses. Why? Because owner and the business are same. So the business loss will be carried for him also. So unlimited liability leads to a biggest disadvantage. And the next thing is limited managerial ability. Here already we said that lack of specialization, the owner, the trader may not have all specialities or specialization which are required for the business organization. Similarly, the owner may not have the managerial ability to manage the business organization. So he may not have overall knowledge about the business organization, and in internal in the organization, external activities also. So the manager, the owner, if he doesn't have managerial abilities, that is also leads to lack of supervision in the organization. And the next thing is limited capital. As we have discussed previously, so limited liability, he can bring as much as liability, but he is the only person who brings the capital into the business. So we can see a limited capital into the business. And the last thing is that hasty decisions. See, sometimes the owner may not take right decisions all the time. Why? Because he he may not have all specialities, and if he doesn't have the managerial abilities, sometimes the what decisions taken by him may be directed into wrong steps. So he doesn't have any group to discuss, or any team to discuss what to do. So he may take a hasty decision in the business organization. So this also leads to the losses for the business organization. So it is also another disadvantage of sole proprietorship form of business organization. So whatever we have discussed now, this is the basic concept. One single individual, he can start a business with these advantages and disadvantages. It's a very simple, again, it's very simple to start a business with a minimum capital. They can start the sole proprietorship form of business organization. Hope you have understood this. We'll discuss another form of business organization in another class. Thank you.